y'all. What up?
Hey, hey.
Hello and welcome to Grand Rapids. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm your anchor, Josie Sabo.
And I'm your other anchor, Sean Francis. And because you avoided the internet after learning way too much about Nancy Reagan, we are bringing you the top local, national, and world news that you may have missed.
You're welcome, Grand Rapids. This is
NewsFlash. Ding dong, hey, with force. Tonight's top story. Over 120,000 Michigan residents were left without power this weekend after a heavy windstorm hit all over the state on Saturday. Consumers Energy offered free pizza for residents of the four cities hit the hardest by the outages: Ionia, Cedar Springs, Carson City, and Spring Arbor. Must be nice, said citizens of Kentucky. Google it, you don't want to.
A single Starbucks location in Buffalo, New York successfully voted to unionize last Thursday, which almost certainly means big things for other chains nationwide, as many workers are demanding better treatment in the wake of staffing shortages during the pandemic. The biggest change right away is going to be an emphasis on wages, paid time off, health benefits, and no CDs on display with a less than 8.0 rating on Pitchfork. Move over, Josh Groban. Top holiday seller this year is Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah. Xavier Novel Goma, a Spanish bishop, decided that being married to the Lord was not enough for him, and he entered a civil union with a human woman, which, if you didn't know, that's a big no-no in the Catholic Church. As a result, the Diocese of Solsona, where Novel serves, issued a statement that while the bishop will maintain his title, he is now forbidden from administering sacraments and engaging in any active teaching, which, like, what else is there for him to do then? Does he just sit around in his robe and singing his creepy, booming monotone? I don't know. But now, none of this would be particularly noteworthy, big whoop. But the interesting thing is that Novel's esposa, wife, Sylvia Caballol, is apparently an acclaimed author of erotic fiction with, quote, satanic undertones, as well as being trained in clinical psychology, sexology, and yoga. So this information really has no additional significance to any normal people, but one can imagine that if the bishop's lady friend was like, say, a teacher or a high-powered business executive or some other more conventional occupation for a woman, as opposed to sexy yoga expert who writes books like The Hell of Gabriel's Lust. That is a real book that she wrote. Maybe there might have not been so much folderol and fanfare about this whole thing. Another fun detail, ex-Bishop Novel was famous for performing exorcisms. So now it just makes me think that maybe the dude just had a kink that he gets to play out in a safe environment, so good for him. Maybe he should apologize for being so supportive of gay conversion therapy, though, you know? I'm just saying, don't point out the gay sawdust in your neighbor's eye without removing the kinky devil yoga plank in yours. Just saying.
Last week, the Biden administration announced they'd be observing a diplomacy boycott of next year's Winter Olympics in Beijing by refusing to send over any government officials as a statement against China's human rights violations. However, this isn't expected to change much about the games, as the American athletes will still be competing as normal, and there will still be American corporate sponsorships up the wazoo, making the announcement more symbolic. So basically, it's like the athletes are going on a varsity overnight lock-in, and the chaperones are staying home. Be prepared for an outbreak of chlamydia 2020 in the Olympic Village.
Spiderman: No Way Home is set to make Marvel history this weekend by reintegrating former villains into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and franchise. So here to talk about what that means for the future, I think he's coming right now. Let's give a big round of applause for the Green Goblin, everybody! Share here for us, set up. Hey, there he is. Oh, look, the Green Goblin, everyone. Ah. Hello. Good to see you, Green. Can I call you Green or Mr. Goblin?
Mr. Goblin will do.
Okay, all right, Mr. Goblin. Good to see you.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
How do you feel about returning to the big screen after a decade?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw you, you were just a hallucination in Spider-Man 3, I think, which is my generation's Spidey, good old Tobey Maguire. For anyone who doesn't know.
You dunderhead! I'm not the Spider-Man from the Raimi trilogy. Or the Green Goblin from that trilogy either.
No?
I'm the Green Goblin from Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Oh.
Sean, you idiot.
What?
As long as you're here, Mr. Osborn, how about a song?
Spider-Man! Spider-Man does whatever a spider can spin a web any size, catches criminals just like flies. Look out! He is the Spider-Man!
Okay, yeah, couple things. Little pitchy dog. And also, that's just the theme song from the original TV show. The Broadway musical, Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, famously was written by Bono and the Edge from U2. So, I mean, I was kind of expecting one of those songs. Do you know that version of the musical?
And I would walk 500
No, that's wrong UK band, sorry. Look, are you even the real Green Goblin?
Pumpkin Bomb, got enough proof for you?
Sure.
Oh, is
fair.
that like a product tie-in, like some merchandising?
Ooh, yeah, maybe it could be like a pumpkin spice seasonal treat.
Yes, it is.
Oh, all right. Or is this like a sample then? Can I eat it?
Do it.
All right, okay. It's a bath bomb! Green Goblin, everybody, get out of here! Get out of here! Green, mischievous goblin, you. All right, yeah, take your pumpkin bomb with you. What a nuisance.
A new mandatory food recycling program will start in California this January that will forbid kitchen waste from entering the regular trash pickup bins. Things like eggshells, chicken bones, potato peels, other kitchen scraps, and leftovers will instead be composted to reduce the amount of emissions entering landfills. We here at NewsFlash think that's an awesome idea and have brainstormed ways to pretend like you live in a state that cares about climate change. So first up, we've got saved vegetable scraps in a resealable bag in your freezer for homemade broths. You can also start a community compost and garden center in your neighborhood. You could hide your food leftovers in your neighbor's gutters in the middle of the night until he stops parking on your side of the driveway. Distribute the bones and eggshells to neighborhood children for cheap craft ideas, or to any psychics, for bone readings. Also, you could just grow up and eat bananas with the peels on.
The last one? Oh, yeah. It can be done, according to that TikTok fellow. A plumber doing repair work behind a loose toilet at Pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. He found hundreds of envelopes containing a total of $600,000 worth of cash and checks hidden in the wall behind the toilet. Police think that this might be connected to a massive 2014 theft at the Houston megachurch, you think? But instead of keeping the money, Justin, the honest, good Samaritan plumber, he reported it to his supervisor. And, just think about that for a moment. Justin was flush with cash flow. He was very liquid plumber. And he could have just said, I'm out of here, and retiled to Florida. I mean, he could have snaked his way out of that megachurch with the money and then just plunged into a life of debauchery, but he didn't fall into that devil's trap. Oh no, that would have been a very crappy thing to do indeed. He instead was honest He turned in the money, and for his honesty, was rewarded with $20,000 by Crime Stoppers. So, I mean, maybe not the 600 grand that he could have had, but at least he knows that his soul is not clogged with sin. And he might even achieve eternal salvation. Take it, Josie.
A once-in-a-lifetime comet is soaring through the sky if you ever feel like looking up sometime this month. Comet Leonard is on trajectory to pass the sun by January 3rd, where it will turn into an interstellar comet, leaving our solar system behind. While we're sad to only see him so briefly, we think our lucky stars that Leonard was able to pass through without awkwardly bumping into his ex, Haley.
Yeah, that would have been... I'll let you read that one, that's some good... Yeah. Last week, it was announced that the big old building known as the Bob affectionately was housed, which has housed several clubs, restaurants, and opportunities to get hit on by creepy dudes in polos. It has been sold to new and undisclosed owners and would be closing its doors at the end of this year after nearly 24 years of serving, sometimes over-serving, the GR nightlife scene. While the new owner's plans for the space are still unknown, all of its current restaurants and clubs will either be relocating or closing permanently, so by January. So in a tribute to the end of that great area, shall we all raise a glass and toast the place that caught our imaginations just like a giant net? Yeah.
This next story is an exclusive for our premium subscribers, so please bear with us. An update has been provided for Android phone users to fix a bug that prevented 911 calls. All you do is...
What?
And that's all you gotta do to get out of the 911 calls, all right? Yeah. Perfect. Hey, there's good news though tonight. Pfizer announced that its 3 doses of its COVID vaccine is effective in fighting the Omicron variant. Yeah! That's great news. So, if you haven't gotten your booster already, you should probably go out and get that as soon as you can. It's available to all Americans over 18 years old. Also, this announcement is, inspired we're really passionate about information here at the Comedy Project, and so we are unveiling a new segment called #Positive Disinformation. So the first, disinformation information about the vaccine, it's been so negative and so rampant. We just want to make the world a brighter place. And if disinformation is going to be spread anyway, let's at least make it uplifting, right? So feel free to tweet these out at will. So number 1, the vaccine made my penis grow 3 inches longer. Or the vaccine releases pheromones that make me seem more sexually attractive.
Yeah, the vaccine gave me an actual smoky eye and puffy lips, as well as I got the jab and got an extra 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah. After you get the vaccine, you will immediately find an envelope with $600,000 in it. And people who don't get the vaccine suffer 7 years of bad luck.
I heard if you don't get the vaccine, you'll break your mother's back.
Oh, that's also true, yeah.
And I also heard they call it a booster because it boosts your booty better than 100 squats.
Ooh, yeah, that's also very true. If you get the vaccine, your boss instantly gives you a 30% raise because, keeping his insurance rates down, and that one actually might be true one day. We're not sure yet. And number 10, if enough people get it, the FBI will finally subpoena Donald Trump. So let's all just go ahead and get boosted and vaxxed.
Do you ever dream about having sex in the middle of the road? Just
I know
like
I
the
do.
Beatles song? Yeah. Maybe you're a little afraid though, not sure of being run over, of course, but just because there might be legal consequences. Well, don't let fear stop you. Did you know that by law, the police are legally required to shut down the road and protect you until you're finished with your mating activities? That's right. The police would surround you with orange cones and close the roads. They'll even guard you to make sure you're safe.
Wait, no, Josie, none of that's true. I mean, it's only true if you live in the Falkland Islands and if you're an elephant seal or a sea lion, because it's mating season there right now, and these majestic creatures are crawling out of the sea to do it in the middle of the road.
Right, and the police are protecting them. Sex in the streets, right on.
Right, but it's only for wildlife.
But what if you kind of look like an elephant, seal, or sea lion? You could wear a costume, right? I mean, what about furries? It's okay if you're a furry.
No. First of all, it's never okay to be a furry. And second, it's also not okay to have sex in the street.
Well, that's furry discrimination, Sean.
It's not discrimination, it's public health policy.
So sex in the streets, just for animals.
Just for animals.
So who were those men in uniform setting up orange coats around us before gently pushing us back into the sea?
No. Josie, what are you talking about? That's never happened. We never, certainly not in the middle of the road. And
Really?
no.
Well, you heard it here first. Weird, wild sexual hallucinations. Just another cool side effect of the COVID booster vaccine. Positive misinformation.
All right. Okay.